Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. We just have a couple of housekeeping items to resolve before we get started here. So feel free to make yourself comfortable, grab your afternoon tea, your water, and we will get started here in just a couple of minutes. Hi, Senator Bennet. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
Doing well. We're just getting folks logged in here and
Great.
getting our housekeeping items taken care of. I'll be presenting first, so you can feel free to cut your camera if you like.
Great.
And when we'll turn
Thank
it
you.
over to you, and then you can turn that back on so you're not
Great.
on the spot the whole time.
Thanks, Monique. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, folks. I see people logging in here. We're going to give it a couple minutes just to allow people to get in and get settled, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. If you wouldn't mind, while we kind of get set up here, please throw your name and organization or city that you're dialing in from in the chat, just so we get a sense of who's joining us this afternoon. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. We have folks from not only all across Pueblo County, but all across the state, and some out of Colorado visitors as well. So thank you very much for spending some time with us this afternoon. All right, folks are dialing in. We're going to give it just another couple minutes here. Awesome. Okay, while more folks start to join us, I will give you a quick overview of kind of what's in store for this afternoon. So my name is Monique Marez. I'm the coordinator for the Pueblo Food Project. First and foremost, I just want to thank everyone for taking time out of their day to come and tune in to this executive briefing to get a quick take on all the great things that we've been up to over the last year. This afternoon, we'll run something kind of like this. I'm going to give you an overview of what we've been up to. Then there will be an opportunity for you to ask some questions using the Q&A feature in the webinar menu at the bottom of your screen. So feel free to plug a question into that Q&A at any point during my presentation, and we'll take some of those questions at the end. Then I will hand the mic over to a very special guest. Senator Michael Bennet is here on the line with us, and we'll share a couple of comments. Of course, as many of you know, he's one of the catalysts that started this whole thing, along with Walter Robb and a bunch of excited Pueblo citizens. So we're very excited that both Senator Bennet and Walter are on the line with us today. After Senator Bennett's comments, we will turn it over to our community panel. We have a great slate of speakers and a very excited moderator to kind of host a really great conversation on the Supporting Pueblo website and really how the landscape of our food system, especially in terms of e-commerce, is evolving. So we're very fortunate that they are here on the line. Hey, Ian, excited to see you guys here, Fremont County neighbors. I've been hearing your name a lot, so thanks for signing in. And then after that, if we have some time, the panelists will also hear a couple of questions. Then we have a really fun teaser video to share with you about the Sun, Soil, Water Summit taking place in November. And if I do my job, we will be all wrapped up out of here right around 4:15. So that is the game plan, and thank you very much for joining us. All right, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. The password for this meeting is 81004. I saw that question come through the chat. The password is 81004. All right. So we are going to go ahead and jump in here. You may see a response from my colleague, Megan Moore. If you have questions coming up in the chat or technical difficulties, Megan is on the back end making sure this goes off as planned. So if it's not a direct response from me, it'll probably be Megan. I'm going to minimize my chat window for now. Friendly reminder, you can put your questions in the Q&A as I'm going through my presentation. Let me just get this to full screen and we will get going. All right, so the Pueblo Food Project has really done a lot in the last year, and especially since our inception right around May, June 2019. And the coalition has really come together to create a shared vision of where we are headed. So the goal, the big idea is Pueblo is recognized across the nation as a model local food system that creates economic opportunity, is representative of our diverse culture, and ensures everyone has convenient, affordable access to nutritious foods they enjoy. Oops, pardon me. I think I pressed the wrong button there. Give me 1 second to try that again. Oh dear, forgive me. I think I'm doing this backwards here. There we go. All right. The Pueblo Food Project has been in the news quite a bit over the last several months. These are a couple of our headlines, and we're very grateful that we've been getting some public awareness going on for all of the things that we have been up to. We couldn't do that without the very generous support of funders and grant donors who have been supporting the Pueblo Food Project as we grow. Really, really grateful for the Colorado Health Foundation and our opportunity to be part of their Community Food Systems Coalition grant program. There are a number of coalitions across the state of Colorado who are all working on food systems change. We get to do this work together, and we're very fortunate to have their support. The Colorado Blueprint to End Hunger has been really critical for us in response to COVID-19 and taking care of some immediate hunger relief needs. The Packard Fund for Pueblo, the El Pomar Foundation, most recently the state of Colorado and the Environmental Protection Agency have all contributed to the success of the Pueblo Food Project. The funds are important, but just as important, if not more, the Pueblo Food Project is 99% volunteer-based. There's a staff of one, and it is my great pleasure and honor to work with our intensely dedicated volunteers to making this food systems change and this project a success here in Pueblo. We're organized with quite a few quite a few ways to plug in, and I'm sharing this with you so that if you're excited by what I'm saying, by the end of this conversation, you get an idea of where you could join the party. So we have two councils. The Pueblo Food Council really acts as an advisory board to the overall project, and we have the Pueblo Youth Food Council. I'll talk more about them at the end of my presentation. We have 5 working groups focused on access, economy, food and farm literacy and education, advocacy, and the environment, and 3 task forces, the COVID-19 Hunger Relief Task Force. We've been meeting since April, since the start of the pandemic, weekly, and now we're at bi-weekly as things start to cool a little bit, but that task force has been extremely committed to resolving the hunger issues here in our community. Next, we have the Entrepreneur Incubator Task Force, which is newly formed, and we have the Branding Task Force that is focused on raising the profile of Pueblo food products. We'll go through the rest of these slides. I'll talk kind of about the working groups as a whole, but then really the successes that we've achieved and where we're headed next. So for food access, our key goal is to increase equity and access to fresh foods in our communities. And we have a few different strategies to do that, collaboration being one of our main goals. A couple of successes here. For the first time in Pueblo's history, our largest farmers market now accepts SNAP. This was a collaboration between the Pueblo Food Project, the Farmers Market, and our Double Up Food Bucks advocate, Marcy Cochran, to kind of make this happen. It's a huge lift for our community that now more folks can access local Pueblo products using those SNAP dollars. As a response to COVID-19, the Pueblo Food Project came together with a slew of volunteers to really respond to hunger relief needs with the support of the Colorado Blueprint to End Hunger. We have executed 2,000 plus family distributions using these funds and other support. I'm excited to share that every single one of these bags is full of local Pueblo bounty. And it is healthy, nutritious food that these families can enjoy despite the many challenges that we're all facing as a result of the pandemic. We were even able to include locally made soap in those bags. Great partnerships with District 60 and the Boys and Girls Club to help get these items out, as well as many others. We also participated or contributed to a very exciting program where the Pueblo Food Project, along with the WIC office, Women, Infants, and Children, sponsored a CSA for families participating in WIC. And the picture you see before you is the beautiful bounty that these families got to enjoy for 18 weeks throughout the harvest season. All of these items are coming from certified organic farms right here in Pueblo County. So it was a real delight to be able to serve this high quality produce to members of our community who might not otherwise know such a program exists. So we're very excited about that partnership. Next, we had quite a big effort over the holiday season just to bring some cheer around town with the support of the city of Pueblo. We executed more than 2,700 family distributions over the holiday season with items like tamales and pizza and Italian cookies, things that are really central to some of Pueblo's food culture, as well as items that added a lot of health and nutrition to the plate. So very grateful that we had the ability to do that over the holiday season. 2 projects that I'm really pumped about are the Supporting Pueblo website and the Pueblo Food Project Community Pantry, which you'll hear more about later on in the panel, but a short version of that exciting opportunity. We were able to list all local Pueblo products in an online platform created by the County of Pueblo, now being administered by the Latino Chamber of Commerce, no cost to vendors to sign up. Our store in particular on the Supporting Pueblo website is available for all hunger relief organizations. in the county, and they are able to create $0 orders for some really high quality items to add to their existing contributions, especially from our great partner at Care and Share. So this is very exciting to be serving some of the most high quality products we produce right here in Pueblo to folks in need. Next, this image of this mix here is an installation of our Teacher Pantry project. We know that many students go home at night unsure about what they're going to eat for dinner, and the Pueblo Food Project, with the support of some funders, put together meal kits that included a pound of local grass-fed ground beef, homemade, handmade pasta right here in Pueblo, Colorado Proud tomato sauce, and some fruit and vegetables to kind of round it out. These are meal kits that the teachers can grab, pull, and send a student home with. We have them installed at 7 elementary schools around town. So we're very excited about that as well. Our group is working hard. We've had many successes, but we know the work isn't done. Right now, we're focusing on a video education series that will really help share the story and the 411 on how to access really critical food support programs available in our community, such as WIC, SNAP, and our food pantries. We're also dreaming up plans to make our farmers market not only a farmers market, but a resource hub. So folks who have questions about food access can come and get all of the information they need. And very excited that we're focusing on farm to families for our institutional procurement. The Food Economy Working Group has the goal of developing and strengthening our local food economy, specifically connecting businesses to resources, figuring out how to get businesses to scale and grow, incentivizing local procurement, and really kind of creating a pathway for food entrepreneurs. We have been committed to local procurement as a project, and we think that's one of the best ways to really incentivize a local food system is to really enjoy the bounty that we have right here rather than looking outward for our resources. What you see before you is just a smattering of logos from some of the brands that have worked with us very closely over this last year to make local food procurement a reality. A lot of these folks have contributed to the community pantry and otherwise, and we hope to continue that trend. Since May 2020, the Pueblo Food Project, with the support of the city of Pueblo, has invested more than $459,000 in our local food system. The goal, as I mentioned, is to really help incentivizing those local food businesses by creating a local food business incubator and support program. We want to increase the made and enjoyed in Pueblo movement. So what does it mean to kind of really access what's here, and how can we make sure as many people as possible are buying local when that's available to them? And if we're talking dreaming big, we're excited to create an urban ag innovation zone, either at Mineral Palace Park or another location in town, that would really let us explore all of the unique career pathways and opportunities that are available in our food economy. The Food and Farm Literacy and Education Working Group is focused on bringing education into school classrooms and community settings. We're looking to raise awareness on the farm to fork movement, create opportunities to engage in food and ag careers, and also increase the ability for folks to access community gardens and community-based education opportunities. So not all learning happens in a classroom. We all know that, and we're excited to give folks a chance to kind of learn more about our local food system with the expertise we have right here in town. A pilot project that we're really proud of this year is our Edible Landscape Project. For the first time in Pueblo's history, we took public green spaces that are normally planted in decoratives and converted them to edible landscapes. We had 3 locations this year, one at Mineral Palace Park, Central Plaza, and Sister Cities Plaza. This was a great collaboration between the City of Pueblo, the Parks and Rec Department, the Streetscapes Committee, and especially our volunteers, the stewards of these spaces, CSU Extension Master Gardeners. So very excited that this program was a success. You see down in the corner all of the signs. We were very creative and colorful with this first project. It was hands-on, all ages, to kind of make this a success. And we had lots of benefits that we didn't quite intend, like less litter in certain places and folks who may not have access to fresh fruits and vegetables, such as members of our homeless population, really being able to benefit from this activity. Next, partnerships that we are super excited about to bring education to the community. Natural Grocers and the Pueblo Food Project have partnered up to do one community class a month to bring nutrition education to our coalition, and anyone at all who's interested in participating and listening. The classes are kind of voted on at our large coalition meetings, and we're running through the first series of those votes now. So if you're interested in increasing your nutrition education, please join us the last Friday of every month for this exciting partnership. I'm also really pumped to share that Pueblo Food Project, the Pueblo Art Guild, and the Pueblo Arts Alliance are partnering to bring you Food Art of Pueblo. This is an art showcase that will take place for the month of March at our Art Guild, which is 62 years old, by the way. The Pueblo Art Guild is quite historic, and we're really bridging the relationships between the foodie community, the farming community, and our artists, kind of looking at our rich cultural history through their eyes. So we're excited for this show to go up. If you're an artist and you have a piece in mind, there's still time. Entries are being submitted this weekend at the Art Guild. I'm very, very excited and proud to share this next achievement for the Food and Farm Literacy and Education Working Group. We have taken over 7th grade spring science at Roncalli Middle School. The 7th graders there are getting an entire science semester focused on food and farming, calling it Seeds to Society. Not only are they learning all of the science that's expected of them through national and state rubrics, they're also learning about the community impact of our local food system and how they can be part of that local food movement. They'll be experimenting with hydroponic techniques and plant genetics. Guest speakers from throughout the community will be coming in to work with the students. So we're very excited, and the hope is that this pilot project will eventually be carried out through the rest of the district. The exciting steps ahead for the Food and Farm Literacy and Education Working Group: we have our Sun, Soil, and Water Summit in November, which you'll hear more about. The Roncalli curriculum that I just mentioned was also supported to be open source. So after we get some great feedback from our teachers, we are going to take that curriculum, create those materials and learning modules, and put it online and send it not only statewide, but across the nation to say, hey, no need to reinvent the wheel. We put a lot of work and time in this. If you can make it happen for your students, here's the resource. So very proud to be taking the charge on that. Edible Landscapes will be back for year 2. And I forgot to mention, and I'm so excited, it should be listed on here. The Pueblo Food Project partnered with All Pueblo Grows to create 800 seed packets for gardeners who are looking to start their garden and install 10 free seed libraries around town. All Pueblo Grows is an outstanding organization that's really helping Puebloans learn how to grow their own food, and we're excited to continue that partnership with them. Our big dream is to find a home for 5th day education options for our students. We would love to set up a learning lab in a fixed location where young people can come in and learn about food and farming all year long. As many of you know, students here in Pueblo's main city district and otherwise only attend school 4 days a week, and we would love to find an opportunity to fill that 5th day with unique educational opportunities focused on food and farming. Our advocacy working group is working quite hard to increase the community voice and the presence of the community voice at all levels, local, state, federal, and institutional spheres. We're trying to build our coalition capacity to really have confidence in knowing that their opinion matters and what we want for our community is important to share, and really enter those opinions in all different types of spaces. We're working to build relationships with all of our representatives, and I'm excited to share that every single representative for the Pueblo community has been contacted by a Pueblo Food Project Coalition member. We've reached out, we're trying to build those relationships, we're trying to let them know what we're up to so that when the time comes and we are very clear on our policies and the stories we want to share, you know, they're ready to take that call. So it's exciting to be doing that development work. We look forward to kind of continuing to build our coalition capacity, and we're excited to build out a concept for some quarterly sector updates so that we are listening to decision makers in our community and also taking that feedback and integrating it into the strategies of the Pueblo Food Project. The environmental working group has a very lofty goal, not lofty, but major, you know, it's a big one, to support efforts that focus on healthy, functional environment and ensure a vibrant food system. Pueblo sits on some of the best farmland in the state, if not the country. And there are lots of pressures on farming right now, not only in our community, but around the country. And so we really want to do what we can to support our farmers. In addition to that, we are interested in being a big part of the Superfund revitalization site. As you know, Pueblo is home to an EPA Superfund site due to a smelter kind of dumping site in Pueblo's Pass. The picture you see before you here is of the steel mill. And I'm excited to share that the Pueblo Food Project was awarded one of 2 environmental justice awards from the Environmental Protection Agency. This award will allow us to install a demonstration garden at the Steelworks Center of the West, a place historically known for bringing services to the Bessemer community, as well as installing raised bed gardens for the homes of residents in the Superfund site. This is a huge win for our community, especially for folks who want to learn about gardening but haven't had the opportunity to grow on their own soil because of the contamination there. So we're very grateful that the Environmental Protection Agency is supporting this effort, and we hope that that project will be rolled out this spring. The Environmental Working Group will continue to explore challenges faced by our farmers. We want to try and find some easy projects that we can implement for residents around Pueblo that will have a positive impact on our environment. And we're very excited to support the work of the Palmer Land Conservancy and the groundbreaking work that they're doing in terms of protecting water shares for farmers who are accessing the Bessemer ditch water. Last but not least, the Youth Council is really taking it in stride. This is a group of young people, high school and college aged, who are interested in supporting food systems change here in Pueblo. You see them pictured there in a U-Haul with half of the fruit baskets that they put together last week. They concepted, proposed, created the budget, procurement plan execution for 500 healthy fruit baskets given out to elementary school students around our community for Valentine's Day rather than candy. And they are working on a mural for our historic levee. So this is just a taste of what's in store. They're doing some self-portraits. If you're interested to learn more about the Youth Council, they are presenting to City Council work session on Monday. So please log in there. With that, I will kind of wrap it up and just remind you, we are a group of inspired community activists who are working really hard to make Pueblo's food system a shining light in the state, but also the country. And we hope that you will join us. If you have any questions on how to get involved, there's our contact info. And with that, I will stop sharing my screen. And I think we have just a couple minutes for questions. You're welcome to put a question in the Q&A or feel free to throw it in the chat. And Megan will kind of help me monitor there, but would be happy to answer any questions you have.
Looks like our first question is the program open to doing a pilot project with technology companies to help enable farmers in reducing inputs, increasing nutrition and yield of crop by utilizing crop sensors and AI?
Easy answer, yes. Yes, we would love to talk to you about that project. And, we aren't able to kind of make decisions for our farmers, but we're happy to present opportunities to them and give them the chance to learn more about your technology and see what's in store. But yes, we would love to explore that. And I'm also thinking that it might be a really great opportunity for our young people to get a taste of ag tech and the possibilities there too.
Next question is, do you have any plans to work with the Colorado State Fair as they pursue their development?
Yes, thank you for that question. The Pueblo Food Project is very excited that the State Fair is working on their 20-year master plan. I think there's lots of opportunity there. It's a natural fit for the Pueblo Food Project to think about the State Fair as a resource to the community, whether or not that means using some of the spaces more year round, finding ways to kind of get some of that fifth day education, classroom concepting in those locations, all of the different ways that we can best utilize that really valuable resource of centrally located land. We're excited to partner there and eager to share our coalition's ideas for this work. One more, Megan, and then I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, the other question that we have is, systemic change requires time. What are the long-term timelines established by the Pueblo Food Project, as it is such a valuable asset to the community? Are systemic changes envisioned?
Yes, yeah, thank you so much for that question. The Colorado Health Foundation has really guided the Pueblo Food Project Coalition in thinking about exactly that. We are working towards systems changes. We do not want our work to come and go at the end of any grant period. And the behavior changes that we're hoping we can create across the community for an appreciation of our local food system and an understanding of nutrition and health and wellness as it relates to our local food system, as well as creating supports for our food economy I said that wrong, for our food businesses and our farms. How do we really incentivize that and make it part of the culture are all things that we're looking at. But all of this work is, as you recognized, takes time, and we're doing our best to both meet immediate needs while at the same time thinking about the long-term vision. So that's why we are inspired to dream big, and we are excited to hear from all voices. And we hope to keep doing that and continue the good work. Friendly reminder, this is just 1 year. So see what happens in 5. It's tough to say, but yeah, we're doing what we can, and we're expecting this to be long-term. Yeah. Okay, Megan, with that, I am going to cut my camera and ask Senator Bennet if you wouldn't mind turning your camera on and just share with us some of your thoughts. You've been here since the beginning.
Well, Monique, I actually have a question for you that I will pose, and then I'll talk, and maybe you can answer it during the course of the discussion. And that is how you talked about the great accomplishment of getting SNAP to be accepted at the farmers market there. And I just would love to hear a little bit about why that's been important and what effect that's had on the ability of people to be able to access the food that is so important. So just a little bit on that would be great. But I'm completely blown away by your presentation. And I'm so glad that I had the chance to hear it. And I'm so grateful to everybody for making time this afternoon to join this briefing. I mean, I cannot tell you how inspiring it is to see the progress that's been made since we first imagined this project. And it wasn't that long ago, in 2019. I remember after the Safeway on the east side of Pueblo closed several years ago, it was inconceivable to me that a community with such a rich history of local farming and agriculture would struggle with access to food, especially when we're living at a time when people want to know more and more where the food comes from and would jump at the chance to buy locally and support their community. So I called up one of the only people that I know who would have an idea about an answer for that, and that was Walter Robb, and asked him to help us think through these issues. And he was kind enough to give us his time when we convened everyone back in 2019, producers, local officials, nonprofits, food executives, and so many people on today's call. The result, as we all know, was the Pueblo Food Project. And although Walter and I initiated the discussion, the community has driven it forward at every step. And I like to think, I think Walter's on the call today. I don't know if he is, but I just want to thank him for caring so much about these food issues and for the people in Pueblo and for Colorado. And I like to think that Walter didn't come out of this empty-handed, because it's my understanding that Whole Foods now sells Pueblo's famous chilies at its stores across America. And so now the whole country can appreciate the treasure of Southeast Colorado. And it's one reason I never pass an opportunity to come to Pueblo. And when I was there last July, you guys saw the picture. Monique and Mayor Gradisar were kind enough to update me on the project, all the progress we've made. We went to see some of the landscapes. They took me to see the edible landscapes in Central Plaza and Sister City Park. I still regret not grabbing some of that Thai basil when I was down there, one of the 6 kind of basils that you were growing at the time. You can find more basil growing, more varieties of basil growing in Pueblo than you can find on the stores of any grocery store, including Whole Foods, I think. And if you think about it, that one idea of creating edible landscapes, which is only just one small part of the project, is accomplishing several objectives at once for the community. It's celebrating Pueblo's tradition of farming, it's beautifying public spaces, and it's strengthening access to healthy local food. And that last point is especially important during a pandemic, when so many families have been pushed into poverty and are struggling with groceries and proper nutrition. In my view, it's only strengthened the case for this project and for the ambition that all of us have for Pueblo. It should never have taken a pandemic to make our country understand the importance of health, nutrition, and food security for our communities. And I am hopeful that we can come out of this on the back end of this crisis and finally make these issues a national priority. And I really believe that what you're doing in Pueblo will serve as an example to the country for how we can draw on a community's tradition to build a strong local economy that benefits everybody. And that's a long, long way of saying that you should take enormous pride in what you've already accomplished. And I want to know how grateful I am for all the work you're doing for the community. Please know that whatever I can do to help, however I can, you just need to let me know. Thanks, everybody. Please stay safe, and I hope I'll see you in Pueblo soon. Thanks, Monique.
And I'm here, Senator.
Thank you, Walter Robb.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I'm blown away, Monique. I'm absolutely blown away, and I agree with Michael 100%. This power of community that you guys have taken up and moved forward in all its richness it's fantastic. It's unbelievable. It's inspiring, uplifting, and food touches everything. And what you've done here this past year is simply amazing. Count me in. Count me in. And I want one of those chilies from my jacket too. I want to have one of those chilies on. That's really cool.
Yeah, I do too.
Thank
Fantastic
you very much.
work. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Senator
Walter.
Bennet, just to get to your
I just
question.
had one more thought, and I want while the senator's on, which is that we have a new Secretary of Agriculture. Michael's on the Ag Committee, and there's a new push around some of the things around paying farmers for carbon sequestration and some of these projects that are going to unfold. And since there's such a robust producer community in Pueblo, it's some of the best farmland in Colorado and in fact in the country. I'd love to see us try to get a USDA pilot or some sort for the Pueblo farmers to be able to figure that out or participate in that some way. I just put that out there as an idea, Michael. But just if there's some way we could steer, I know both Senator Stabenow and Tom Vilsack are thinking they want to revitalize rural communities and rural farmers. There's got to be some way that the Pueblo Food Project, could take a lead or offer or put a pilot together, something like that. So just a thought.
I think that is an excellent idea. We'll go to work on that, Walter. Thank you.
We will follow up with your office with the right context to sort of
Great.
start that conversation locally. Yep.
Good.
Just to quickly answer your question regarding the importance of SNAP at the farmers market, you know, the farmers market has always been a place of community, and it's been a place of celebration and bounty. And there's no reason that all members of our community shouldn't be able to access that really fun time. And so getting the ducks in a row for us to allow everyone in and to really support local products and especially fresh fruit and produce with the Double Up Food Bucks program was foundational for this year's farmers market, especially in the face of the pandemic when participation was down. The SNAP dollars actually made a big impact on farmers' pockets. So not only were we able to bring in a new set of customers who got to enjoy the freshest produce available, it was opening up and widening our community experience. And so we hope to just kind of expand that even more next year, as mentioned, making it a place where you can find all of the resources and really enjoy what we have to offer. So.
Great. Well, thank you. All right, I'm going to stop my video now so we can hear the rest of the presentation.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will turn it over to Mark Maddock, who is the manager at Southern Colorado Innovation Link, to introduce our panel.
Hey, everyone. As moderator of the panel today, Stephen Trujillo, CEO of the Latino Chamber of Commerce, and the 4 panelists will include Garrison Ortiz, Pueblo County Commissioner, Keith Hintz, President of Springside Cheese, Kim Bowman, Executive Director of Posada, and Liz Martino, rancher and co-owner with Martino Cattle Company. Turn it over to you, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Mark, and good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you joining this presentation here today. And I just have to start off by echoing my thanks and truly just the amazement at the work done by the Pueblo Food Project, going to Senator Bennet and to Mr. Robb for their support in bringing this together, and then to Monique and the incredibly dedicated group that has come together around this effort. I've had the pleasure of talking to many who I know are on the other side of our panel discussion today, from some of our very own board members, Dr. Valenzuela and others, and just Monique, and so many that have shared the successes and really the work that continues, the progress that is made on a daily basis, and to see where that's headed for Pueblo, in my mind, is no doubt going to put us on the map in more ways than one. And we are certainly honored. I'm certainly honored to be here this afternoon and moderate a panel around one of the projects that was mentioned earlier, and that is Supporting Pueblo, this online platform and site that really afforded many of our businesses to take advantage of an opportunity that may not have always been there before. And so it has been an honor for the Latino Chamber to have been invited to this effort early on when it started, when so many other groups came together to brainstorm this and put it together. And certainly moving forward, it has been our honor to help play a role in keeping this program growing, expanding it, and taking it even further. And so today on our panel, we're going to have the opportunity to hear from some different panel members, and we have just a few questions that I'm going to pose to all of them, and then we will have an opportunity to hear in just a little bit, or actually get to see a little of behind the scenes and how to get signed up for that. So the first question that I have goes to our Commissioner, Garrison Ortiz. Where did the idea for Supporting Pueblo come from? Mr. Ortiz.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Stephen, for the question. Actually, around this time when the pandemic had first set in, and I was actually going to the grocery store along with several other folks at that time, trying to stock up on food for what could maybe be a long couple of weeks or month at that time. And I recall going into the grocery store and seeing all of these shelves of bread that were empty, the coolers of cheese that were empty, and pretty much everything was gone. And I remember, that morning taking calls from several business owners and hearing how things were already starting to slow down and product really wasn't moving. And here I was in a large supermarket and everything was sold out. So at that point I thought, how could that be? Cheese should be moving, bread should be moving at Zolman's. There's other places to go and purchase these products in mass. So I had this, I'll call it a crazy idea at the time, to basically set up an entire supply chain to connect local and small businesses to consumers directly. And I remember calling a couple of the folks on here and explaining the concept. And, initially it sounded like a mountain of work, but I can tell you that a lot of those folks, Stephen, all the chambers, even and especially Nikki Hart, who I know you'll hear from here in a minute, just really stepped up and essentially built Pueblo's mini Amazon. So essentially, for a while, folks were ordering products online and they were being delivered all the way to their doorstep with the help of many partners, including the Convention Center and SRDA and just a whole host of folks here locally. So that's where the idea stemmed from.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortiz. Appreciate it. And sometimes, as we know, those crazy ideas are what become some of the best products for our community, right? So thanks for thinking of it and pulling this together. Our next question goes to Keith, a locally owned business here in our community who we all love. Speaking of cheese, the question we have for you is, how has it impacted your business?
It's been significant. I think when it started, the emotion of the situation of stores closing, customers not being able to come in, my staff not being able to interact with our regulars was pretty significant. And then to have the community get together, led by our community leaders and Garrison, to initiate this was significant. Emotionally for the staff, gave us hope, opportunity to see maybe a light at the end of the tunnel, and just the overall support that we could drive towards. It also allowed us to put in gave us some time to put in some processes and procedures to be able to support our customers. Things that we didn't necessarily have in place, like delivery, and then put us on the same shelf, what we can't do in our own little retail store, with other products that are made in Pueblo. So we had numerous orders come through where customers, local individuals, were buying things from multiple vendors at one time, things that, soap that we're not going to carry in our store. We're dedicated to cheese and cheese related products. And so with a perishable product, we needed to continue to move products. We did offer curbside individually, but this allowed us to move product with other local consumer or other local suppliers, providing delivery to people's doors and a single stop, so that the consumer didn't have to come in and go to 3-4 different stores at a time.
Thank you for that perspective, Keith. Appreciate it very much. Our next question goes to Kim, and the question is, what role has collaboration played in surviving the pandemic as a support organization? Kim?
Thank you. Thanks for having me today. I just want to say that through the pandemic, our agency simply wouldn't have survived without the strategic partnerships that were developed. And today I'd like to speak a bit about community collaborations. I love that we're a diverse community with so many optimistic partners. And even though we're forced to make hard choices, at the end of the day, we make a powerful impact on our community. Everybody here in Pueblo, in our giant sandbox, is a very large toddler who's learned to play well with others. I'm inspired to work with my community to identify successful collaborations. Another thing I love is that we're becoming so much better at collaborating. We often don't have a lot of money to provide the important services our community needs, but collectively, we come together to bridge these significant gaps. And at the root of these successful alliances is a commitment to recognizing that we can do more together. Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And I love that our Pueblo community lives these words every day. This pandemic, it's brought about renewed efforts to capitalize on our service circles. And we've identified new partnerships with our community that are yielding healthy outcomes for Pueblo's underserved populations. With every challenge comes an opportunity. And our community has embraced the unique challenges we face and through it gained new ideas for growth. Partnering with the greatest community agencies allows us to do more. We're creating community equity through the greatest gift of all, in-kind giving. And the social value of this gift is enriching our community in countless ways. The Pueblo Food Project has developed a successful coalition of growers that provide not just fresh food, fresh ideas. And our ability to leverage food is greater now than at any other time in my 30-year tenure with Posada. is that the recognition these stewardships are yielding sustainable outcomes. We're collectively contributing to investing in our community with inclusive processes that are not only efficient, but they're effective. And this joint vision boosts relationships, it improves communication, fosters mutual respect for our common purpose and vision. Our success hinges on our common goal of empowering people to create change and leverage resources. And this collaborative work allows us to help people stand proudly on their feet. The complex challenges that Pueblo faces are being tackled by ordinary people making extraordinary contributions. And I'm proud to know them, I'm proud to work with them, and I'm proud to be one.
Thank you so much for your response, Kim, and for your work and collaboration as well, and for being a part of our panel this afternoon. We greatly appreciate it. Our next question that we have here goes to our panel participant, Liz. And the question is, has the pandemic brought any changes to your business?
Hello, first I just want to say thank you to Monique. We really appreciate your partnership and your continued business. Our business, the meat distribution portion, began in early March of last year. So essentially right when the pandemic hit. We weren't terribly worried, being that our whole product distribution stems around home delivery. But we were able to adapt in certain ways and offer no contact service, through payment over apps like Venmo or PayPal, and essentially leaving it in a cooler on people's porches. So we did that for several people with at-risk children. Specifically, we were able to continue and with our weekly deliveries, keep fresh meat to families. So the whole stores being out of these products wasn't an issue for us. So it essentially pushed and gave us a greater demand in a time when we were just beginning this portion of our business.
Thank you, Liz, so much. Appreciate it. And to you as well. We appreciate you being a part of today's panel. This last question is going to be one that is posed to each panelist individually, and you'll have just about 90 seconds or so if you could answer it. And the question is there a key lesson learned as a result of COVID-19? And what future do you see for the local makers movement right here in Pueblo, Colorado? And we'll begin with Commissioner Ortiz, and I'll go down and call upon each panelist from there. Commissioner Ortiz?
Sure. Thank you for the question. I think there's a couple overarching lessons learned from coming through this pandemic. One is obviously, as Senator Bennet mentioned, is the need to have more sustainable sources for food and water, and ensuring that the community has the necessary tools and resources to procure that. But I would say overall, and I learned this with the Supporting Pueblo website when we heard from a lot of these businesses, is the pandemic has really shown us that a lot of businesses are really reconsidering overhead, where they're headquartered, where their employees can work from, and the way that basically business is done a lot more virtually in the United States. And I think what we're seeing is that as the state of Colorado grows immensely, we really want to make Pueblo a place of choice, and that we need to spend this time. And I have a couple of projects that we've been working on at the county, such as streamlining and reunifying our business permitting processes. And the mantra is Pueblo means business. We're trying to bring those economic development prospects here. And we should be positioning the city and county of Pueblo as a place of choice to headquarter, to live and work. And so I think that's the biggest lesson that I guess I see learned, and biggest opportunity going forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortiz. And we'll now go to Keith.
What we've learned through this experience is the greatest opportunity for the small businesses is the collaboration opportunity. Finding ways to support each other, offset overhead, finding ways to make connections. We've recently had another local supplier of meat that we sell in our store, and we have a corresponding shared customer, that we're looking at potentially doing delivery for, so that they don't have to do that delivery as well. So I think those are the opportunities that we need to look forward to, finding ways for small businesses to connect, share resources, and compete against those large, big box, Amazon type companies that have unlimited resources.
Thank you so much for that response, Keith. Appreciate it very much. And now we'll go to Kim.
I think the greatest lesson that we've learned is that it takes a village, and that's how we've survived this pandemic. And we most certainly couldn't have done it without our community partners. And our agency, for example, developed a new shelter in the span of less than 1 month to support Pueblo's COVID positive single homeless population. And the Pueblo Food Project supplied us with the food and supplies that we needed to run this effort. And we recognize that although the storm's not over, we see the light at the end of the tunnel and a clear path forward to a new normal.
Thank you so much, Kim. Appreciate it very much. And we will now go to Liz.
I think the whole pandemic has shined a greater light on the whole delivery options for your local products. I think that the push for supporting your community will remain a huge new aspect of our new normal. I think that people don't want to go back to ever being without. And so I think that getting away, like Keith said, from the large corporate mainstream with unlimited resources is a new change for us. And I don't think that we will go back to totally relying on the corporate.
Thank you so much for that, Liz. Appreciate it. And I want to just thank all of our panel participants for the great responses. It is incredible to see the collaboration and just the innovation that's taking place. And I'll just add from my perspective as well, when we talk about what are the things that have been learned through the pandemic or what is the future, I can't help but think that, one is entrepreneurship is alive and well in Pueblo, Colorado. That is no doubt. And that we certainly are a strong, resilient, and dedicated community. And our brightest days are ahead because of the dedication and because of the innovation that our businesses have demonstrated through this pandemic and beyond, that it will certainly be, just an incredible place to do business, to live, and to raise a family here in Pueblo, Colorado. I believe at this time we are going to possibly take a few questions here in just a minute for the panel. So I'm going to ask our panelists to stick with us. We are moving pretty good here, but we're also going to take some time to take a look in depth a little bit more into that Supporting Pueblo platform. And it's certainly a great pleasure that we've had to work with Nikki Hart with Hart Media, who is just the guru behind making these things possible. I can recall conversations when, and I think Commissioner Ortiz would agree, when we had this crazy concept or the crazy idea, somehow Nikki would just figure it out and make it work in the technological world for this platform. And so I do want to just let everybody know that we are going to have a few questions, just a few. So if you have any of those, please put those in the chat. But in the meantime, I'm going to turn it over to Nikki to take us through a little bit more of Supporting Pueblo. Ask that our panelists hang on the line for just a minute, and we thank you again for your participation. But Nikki, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. A pleasure to be here. I'm going to share my screen really quick and show you some behind the scenes of the platform. I'm going to start just with a quick visual overview to give you some insights into just what Supporting Pueblo has done since it launched in April. And the beauty of this platform is we do have direct sales, i.e. people are selling directly on this platform and we are fulfilling that. But we also have people that are selling services and we direct link it right over to their own websites to sign up. So the platform is very flexible. It's not just a place where vendors are selling goods directly. We do work with people to collaborate with the platforms that they already have in place. So what we're looking at right now, we have about 55 vendors total on the platform and 140 customers. This is at the end of the year. So this is wrapping up at the end of December. We've had over $6,400 in sales. This does not include the wonderful work of the Food Project because the way that's set up is that is purchase in advance. So actual money is not running through the platform. So when you add the products that have come through that, it's much, much higher than that. We've sold over 2,600 items through the platform since it started. The average sale around $33, 75 deliveries and 82 pickups. and over 200 orders have been placed from April to December. 81005 is the top zip code, but we do have sales throughout Pueblo, leading with Pueblo West all the way throughout all of the zip codes in Pueblo County. But this is the exciting part. We have sales on this platform from as far south as Trinidad, Colorado, as far north as Aurora and Denver, and as far west as Oakland, California. Yes, we did have somebody buy a fantastic set of local gifts for people in Colorado, and she was living in California. The website to date has had over 16,000 visitors, and the food is the primary item through this entire project that is the top seller. But we don't just sell food on Supporting Pueblo. We sell apparel and gifts, essential items, and personal care as well. But food is definitely a staple on this platform, and just the ability to see people check out and have the diversity in their cart has been really exciting to see. So if we head over just quickly to the platform, it is a marketplace, a hub for products and services that you can search, very similar to a mini Amazon style. If you're looking to get your products on here, it is a very easy process. We have set this up to be a simple form where you fill it out. And one of the big goals of this is we did not want to make this difficult. So literally filling out this form, and we take care of it for you. We upload the products, we upload images, we take care of all of that for you. If you like to be hands-on, there is a vendor dashboard that allows you to be hands-on as well, but it's not a requirement. So we do take care of the fulfillment, we take care of the order, we take care of the payment processing, we take care of the sales tax payments for you, and everything that goes with that. So really, you just have to worry about your product and getting that to us so that we can deliver it to customers. On the flip side, if you're a service-based business, we can still feature you on here and directly link up to anything, a call or whatever that would look like. It's very flexible. And today we're having conversations beyond just products and services to where we're actually looking at growing content, featuring local Pueblo content, artists, makers, you name it. This platform is not limited in any way. We really want to make this a central hub of how you can support Pueblo beyond just products and services. A great place to start is on the supportingpueblo.com /sell page. And this is an overview of the platform. So if you're new to this and you want to really get into what this offers and some of the benefits, this page will help go through all of that. And then we have a link to that form ready to go. And this is a platform you can always ask questions as well. We do get people just having ideas and what can we do with this platform? The Pueblo Food Project was a perfect example of that. It wasn't something we had on the platform originally, but it was very quick to adapt and get them going with very little administrative overhead to make that happen. So the idea is that this is here for Pueblo and the region and beyond. There's a lot of great growth potential. Again, this is a project like the Food Project that's just in not even a year yet, and it's amazing where it will go.
All right. Thank you so much, Nikki. I do want to just echo again the thanks. You've been an incredible partner on this particular effort. And certainly, I know from the Latino Chamber side, we are so excited to continue that growth with your expertise and your collaboration and leadership on it. So we appreciate it very much and would encourage all businesses, take a look at it. And if you have questions about does this fit for me or what might I be able to do, certainly do not hesitate to reach out either to the Latino Chamber or to Nikki. We are happy to take those questions and really brainstorm. And that certainly is, I think, one of the biggest pieces of this as well, is just that ability to brainstorm, to be flexible, and to meet certainly the need of our businesses. So I'm actually at this time going to turn it over to Megan Moore. I think she has a few questions for some of our panelists. So Megan, are you there?
I am here.
Right.
So the first question I think is a little bit more general, but it's going out to whoever can answer it. What is the future of the Supporting Pueblo website, and how long will it run for?
Of our panelists, anybody like to take a stab at that? Commissioner Ortiz, I saw you unmute there.
Sure, I can take a stab at that question. So as Stephen had mentioned earlier in this forum, the Latino Chamber of Commerce has actually taken over the Supporting Pueblo project. We really felt, because it's really business based and their involvement in various efforts in the community, it would be best placed in their hands coming out of the pandemic to really take it to the next level. And you can see that with the connection with the Pueblo Food Project and some other things that have taken place. So it'll rest with the Latino Chamber of Commerce. The county has sponsored those efforts to try and support it and keep it going. And I know that Nikki Hart, remains kind of on standby to help as well. And I just want to say, and I know it was already mentioned, Nikki, we had a little group that came, I call it our A team, that came together to really try to build this crazy idea out, which we did. But there was some heavy lifting on this website, and you're looking at probably a $30,000 to $40,000 website that Nikki just didn't ask questions. She just jumped in, and she was probably working on it all night long, and stood this thing up, made changes on the fly in the meetings, and just I think she's the Latino Chamber of Commerce Professional of the Year, and just nobody could have been more deserving this year. So I know in Nikki's hands and Stephen's hands, it'll really take flight and blossom to its fullest potential.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortiz. And while I'm not a panel participant, I will just add my comments on behalf of the Chamber that our goal, obviously, that this effort grows and serves our community for years and years to come. I think it was framed best earlier when we said that it's thought of as Pueblo's Amazon, if you will, for our small businesses. And that is certainly the goal, to push that forward. We actually are just finalizing a hire of a coordinator that will oversee this on our team, that'll work closely with Nikki and others to push this effort to the next level, in coordination with our friends from the county, with Commissioner Ortiz and his team, as well as the participants that help stand this up. It is going to be one that you will see in the coming months is going to grow even further with marketing and all these pieces that come with it. So we are excited, we are thrilled, and certainly going to push forward and continue that growth for it.
And if it's okay, I just want to add, someone had told me a couple months ago, the end state, or the perfect objective for supporting Pueblo, is your family members in other states back home in New York or California or wherever they live could order their green chili when it's in season from wherever they live in the country and have it delivered to their doorstep. So I think that's a pretty good objective for the project.
You're exactly right. That is for sure. And we had an order from California. I don't think it was chili per se, but I do believe it was some cheese, some mugs, and some other items. So we're already starting. Megan, do you have another question for us?
Yes, we'll have one more question, and this one is to Nikki. How is the Supporting Pueblo website publicizing and marketing its efforts? I suppose it doesn't just have to be Nikki who answers this question either.
No, it's transitioning, and this is something that we'll work with Latino Chamber on to make this robust, but I can tell you when we launched what that entails. It initially was a very local effort with a promotion of the vendors who were on it on multiple channels. I foresee this growing into really honing in on e-commerce marketing in general and expanding beyond social media and using tools available to really get the word out and continue to grow the platform, both with people who are selling on it and those who are purchasing on it. But early on, when we were really bootstrapping this, we saw a lot of growth with our local collaborators and getting the word out. And now it's time to take it to that next level with the collaboration of the Latino Chamber to really extend that reach.
And then I just have one more follow-up question for, I think, Nikki. Is there a Spanish-speaking option for the website?
Yes, so I saw that question. That is a phase 2, something that I'm very passionate about. In addition to that, accessibility is a really big feature on this. So the ability to translate this website and have the website now is available to people that have sight mobility or other accessibility issues, but that is something that ongoing we want to improve. And so those are features that are in my list of things to keep working on supporting Pueblo and make sure that this site is available to as many people as possible wherever they are.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nikki. I think that brings us to a point where we're going to wrap it up. We do appreciate all of the questions. I will say we're taking a look at those, so keep them coming. But as we close this out, I want to extend my sincere thanks to all of our panel participants here today for taking time to answer some questions. Certainly appreciate it. And beyond just our panel, for the work that you all individually are doing with so many others across our community to make Pueblo the community that it is, the place that we know it to be, and the place that the world will soon know this is where you want to be when it comes to business, when it comes to raising a family, or simply just living out here in our community. So thank you to our panel participants. Thank you to all of our guests that have joined us on the other side of our video here today. We appreciate it very much. And at this time, I will turn it over to Monique and to Megan. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you very much, Stephen, and to all of our panelists. Megan is pulling up the last segment of today's program, and I think she is good to go.
Hello, I'm Monique Marez, the coordinator for the Pueblo Food Project.
And I'm Nick Gradisar, Mayor of the City of Pueblo. And we are excited to announce the Sun, Soil, Water Summit happening in November this year.
Some members from the host committee are going to give you a taste of what's in store. Take it away, Dr. Kelly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Kelly Gelhoff, founder of Perpetual Harvest, a sustainability consulting company based here in Pueblo, Colorado. And at this year's event, you'll be learning from keynote speakers and expert panelists about a wide range of relevant food systems topics, like food access, food economy, food and farm literacy and education, food systems advocacy, and last but not least, what ties us all together, the environment. You will also have ample opportunities to network and connect with the speakers and fellow attendees, some of whom will be participating from outside of Pueblo County. We will cover a lot of information in a short amount of time, so choose the breakout sessions that are most interesting to you, and then keep the conversation going by joining us online at our forum at pueblofoodproject.org.
Hey, I'm Mark Maddock, manager at Southern Colorado Innovation Link. As part of the 2021 summit, we will also include a business pitch competition for community members throughout the region that have ideas related to the food and beverage industry. At Southern Colorado Innovation Link, we're excited to help you prepare your pitch and get it ready to be shown in front of community members and investors. More details about the application process, pitch competition, and other information will be provided closer to the event.
Hi, I'm Jojo of Jojo's Sriracha. We make a national award-winning sriracha right here in Pueblo, Colorado. We participated in the inaugural Makers Market, and I highly encourage any regional maker to do the same. Not only will you be able to sell your goods, you'll also have the opportunity to network with other producers and buyers, not to mention farmers from the region. Oh, and there'll be investors there, so bring your elevator pitch and your best products. See you there.
Hi, my name is Nana Meyer. I'm a professor at the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, and I'm the founder and leader of Grain School. And I'd like to invite you to join us for Grain School in the Field, which for the first time will be held in Pueblo County. We are actually transitioning from an online and remote platform into literally the fields of corn next November. We're interested in exploring culinary applications of corn, but also the science behind corn and nixtamalization, the nutritional diversity that allows us to enhance our ways of eating and bringing back the culture and food ways of corn. And so join us for lots of learning, not only with our head and our hearts, but also with our hands.
Hi, my name is Megan Moore. I'm the Digital Engagement Coordinator for the Pueblo Food Project and Coordinator for the Southern Colorado Innovation Link. At this year's 2021 Summit, I'm excited to announce that for the first time in Pueblo's history, we'll be hosting the Pueblo Food Project Leadership Awards. These awards will highlight significant contributions to the community food system. Please join us for the ceremony on November 12th.
As you can see, we have so much planned for our summit in November. So mark your calendars for November 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Look out for some emails to get registered, and let us know if you have any questions by messaging us on Facebook or sending us an email to info@pueblofoodproject.org.
Hope to see you at the summit in November.
All right. Well, we have done our job. You have a taste of what we've been working on over the last year. You have been inspired to join our party, so you know how to get a hold of us. We've had great conversation from all of our panelists and a great moderation. And now you know what's coming up in November. So we really hope that you will again join our community movement in some way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And with that, we will close. Thank you so much, everybody.
Please follow us on social media if you're still here. Pueblo Food Project on Instagram and Facebook.
Have a great afternoon.